Hello and welcome everyone. In this video, we'll learn about the HTML action operation. We'll use a simple use case to understand this operation. In this use case, the bot will open a browser, go to the LinkedIn website, type in the login ID and a password, and log in into the LinkedIn website. So HTML action is always performed on a browser. So the first thing that we would need to do is open a browser. So we do that by clicking on the open browser and dragging it into the timeline window here. So I have already done it. So here you see we have a command called open browser, and then in the properties panel I just typed in the URL which I want the browser to open. So in this case I have typed in www.linkedin.com. So once the bot opens this LinkedIn website, I want the bot to click on a button called as sign in. So let me show you how it would work. So I have this browser, and when I type LinkedIn, there's this button that comes here. So I want the bot to type on this button sign in, and that's what the second step will do. So what the second step does is basically we go on top of this button and we do a right click and click on inspect. When I do this, I get the details of this object properties, HTML object properties of this button, and what I would do is I will copy the class name here. So I just double click on the class name and I will copy it and go back to the studio. I will select the attribute name as class, and I will put the attribute value, the class value. I have already pasted it here, and then the event I want the bot to click on this particular object, so that's why I choose the JS event as click. So there are multiple options which I can choose, like check, set value, submit, select, click. So in this case I want the bot to click on the button, so I will select click. So let's see what happens. So after I click here, we get this login prompt where I have to enter my email ID, password, and then click on sign on. We follow the same procedure. So I do a right click on this particular field and I do inspect, and here in this case I will take the username. So I just double click here, I just copy the username, go back to the studio. The next step is I select ID from this drop down, and then the attribute value was username. The event is set value, so I want to enter detail. So I am entering my email ID in the login email ID field. So this is what will be entered by the bot in the email ID field. The next step is to enter the password, and again we follow the same procedure. Go back, do a right click on the password field and click on inspect, and in this case the ID is password. I copy the password here, go to the studio and select ID and attribute value. I already pasted it before, and then I select the event as set value because I'm going to enter my password. And here in this parameter field I have entered my password, and as I have checked on this checkbox, that's why you are not able to see the password is encrypted here. So after I enter login ID and my password, I would need to click on this button sign in. So again I go and do a right click here and click on inspect, and I get the button class here. So I would just select this class, go to the studio, and I'll select class. I have already copied the name of the button, and now I want to do a submit because this is a submit button. So I want to do a submit, and that's what I select from this drop down. So that's pretty much it. So we open the browser, we click on sign in, we give the email ID, password, and then click on submit. So that's pretty much a simple scenario, and hope with this scenario you'll be able to understand how the HTML action kind of works. Let us run this. Let me close this browser and let us run this to see how it works. Okay, so the bot has opened the browser. It will type in LinkedIn. There you go. It has logged in into my LinkedIn account successfully. So uh, so this is how the HTML action is used. So let me very quickly go through the different fields here on the properties panel. So we have a delay. I mean, if you want to set a delay, you can set a delay to start this operation. And in case the web page has multiple frames and tags, you can use that as well. And we can use the class ID, name, source, href kind of thing to kind of pinpoint that particular object where we want the bot to perform an action. Attribute value and event we have discussed in detail. And if you want to set value, we can if we use the JS event as set value, we can enter the value here. Right, so that's about HTML action operation. Thank you for watching and happy automation.